So it looks like one of the old zombie ciphers that we thought was solved wasn't completely finished. There are a few words missing within it that may not be that important to you, but when I read this, it got me thinking about a question that I'd never really asked before about the pyramid within Der Eisendrache. That small, conspicuous, similar looking pyramid to the MPD that we see on Moon, otherwise known as the Moon Pyramid device, the metal structure. Well, in Der Eisendrache, we have a stone looking version. And up until this point, I'd never really begged the question, why is this even here? Who made it? Where does it come from? So the cipher that I'm referring to was one that was solved all the way back from Gorod Karovi, I'm assuming when the map came out. I can't remember this being solved, but I have read this cipher before. It was this one from Canorium Excerpt B, and it said, to allow quick travel between dimensions, the Keepers created the transference device, which is powered by the ether. The Keepers have placed structures throughout the realms. Now, when looking at this, you'd think, well, there's nothing out of the ordinary, this seems to make sense, it's a complete sentence or two. This is the cipher fully solved, nothing would make you think otherwise. If you link it to the story and what we know, it makes sense. The Keepers did create the transference device, or the MPD. The end part where it says they placed structures throughout the realms, you could kind of question, because it's not specific, what structures did they place? I suppose that's the one question here, but no one really batted an eyelid until Rich Killer, who I would say is one of, if not the top cipher solver within the zombies community. He posted this on Twitter where he said, small cipher update, 2 words were found missing from this Gorod Karovi cipher, and the 2 words were these pyramids. And so when we add these new words into that solved cipher, it now fully says, to allow quick travel between dimensions, the Keepers created the transference device, which is powered by the ether. The Keepers have placed these pyramid structures throughout the realms. So it confirms that the structures that the Keepers placed were in fact the pyramids, which I think most people would have assumed that's what the structures were anyway, because we knew that they placed the MPD pyramid on the Moon. That was confirmed via the Canorium. Like I said, we see this pyramid type device in Der Eisendrache. For some reason in the back of my mind, I want to say there are other similar structures as well, and the way that it's worded, the Keeper placed pyramid structures throughout the realms, which allowed them to essentially teleport. It makes sense, and this is interesting for me because it's something I haven't thought about before. I've never questioned what the exact purpose of the pyramid in Der Eisendrache was, why it was there, or who made it. The Canorium doesn't mention the pyramid in Der Eisendrache, it talks about the pyramid on the Moon. We know exactly how that was created and how that got there. It tells us it was made by the Corrupted Keepers, and its purpose was to give them absolute power. However, when a fight broke out between the Corrupted Keepers and the regular Keepers, they ended up hiding the Ether Pyramid on the Moon, so that explains how that got there, but we were never told why there was one in Der Eisendrache. All we knew about Der Eisen was that back in the 1300s, after the end of the Great War, and just before Primus disappeared from history, before they walked away in quotation marks, it was Primus who instructed the Wolf King, who also took part in the Great War, to build the castle of Der Eisendrache. So we know the castle was built by him along with his servants and Leroy, or as we know him now, Arthur, that's his official name. Der Eisendrache was built by them back in the 1300s. So you could assume if it was the Wolf King that built Der Eisendrache and the pyramid is in the castle, did he also build this pyramid we see? But looking at it, the technology doesn't link up. The technology involved and around this pyramid isn't of that century. There are 4 slabs around it that you stand on, and when you do, it activates the pyramid, which turns on an anti-gravity system. That isn't 1300s tech, so there was something else going on here, and now we know from this cipher that it was created by the Keepers, and its purpose, just like the one on Moon, was to allow them to quickly teleport between dimensions, and that's exactly what happens in the Der Eisendrache Easter egg. The Keeper goes down to the crypt, it approaches the stone pyramid, the pyramid then disappears into the Undercroft, the Keeper then teleports to the Moon, so it uses this pyramid to quickly teleport, where it then brings the Moon Pyramid device down to Der Eisendrache. So even though we kind of filled the cipher in for ourselves, we pretty much guessed what it meant without the 2 new words. It generally is something I haven't thought of, why the pyramid was in Der Eisen and what its purpose was. And now we know, and why this is kind of so upsetting to me as well is because we have so many unsolved Easter eggs still in COD Zombies. As far as Gorod Karovi goes, I'm pretty sure there's just 1 unsolved cipher in that map, which is this one up on screen now. So if anyone knows how to solve ciphers, or if we want to all get together and try and solve some of these, I think that'd be a dream come true, because we have so many good solved ones in BO3, especially the Revelation ciphers, which have always been super interesting to me. We only have a couple solved in that map, and they're really, really good. There's some juicy information in there that we would never know to do with the zombie story if they weren't solved. We're not told any of this information that we learn in these ciphers through quotes or messages, radios in games, Easter eggs, the Canorium. We would never know this information if we hadn't have solved these couple of ciphers that we do have in Revelations. This one, for example, gives us what looks to be an alternate ending to Revelations. It reads, "I am the last of us, but I will be joining you soon, my friends. Cough cough, death is near. I hope what we have done doesn't come back to bite this universe in the ass. Thank God we will all be gone, because if Monty ever found this place, we would be in a world ton of shit. Maybe now, with us all gone, the children will truly be safe. D." We assume that D is Dempsey, but everything we learn in this cipher is brand new to us. As far as we're aware, this doesn't take place as a part of the cycle, it's a part of the actual zombie story, so this must be an alternate ending that we only learned through a Revelation cipher. Without solving this, we'd never know it, and this is really interesting to anyone who likes the COD zombie story. An alternate ending to Revelations, where Dempsey and I'm assuming the rest of the premise characters are hiding from Dr. Monty. They've realised he's bad. They've gone into hiding because remember, at the end of the Revelations ending, Dr. Monty resets the cycle. Well, pretty much. Revelations technically isn't the end, the Great War is, but that comes before it. So at the end of Revelations, we get a hint that Dr. Monty isn't necessarily the person that he's been telling us he is, but I wouldn't say he comes out as evil, and I wouldn't say from the cutscene, Richtof and Taki and Nikolai and Dempsey realise he's evil. Yes, they see that he hasn't been telling the truth, but nothing happens like we see in the cipher. They don't go hide from him. There's also another cipher that we solved in Revelations, which reads October NSA report, T, they found the source on Venus, beginning extraction. I'm not going to fully explain that cipher in this video, but you can see there's so much juicy information there that, again, without solving this, we wouldn't know. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 unsolved ciphers that I can see in Revelation. So just imagine if the 2 or 3 that we've solved in this map are this juicy and this interesting to the story. How much are we missing out from the other 10 unsolved ciphers in that map? And that's just Revelations. There are loads of other maps in BO3, there's loads of other maps in BO4, I think even BO2 might have a couple of ciphers, I'm not 100% sure. But there's so many maps, so many ciphers that are unsolved. When we have ones like these, it kind of just makes me upset being a storyline person that we're missing out on so much interesting information, and there's a chance that we never solve any of it and we never find it out. I have said it before, but I kind of wish Treyarch would come out and, you know, just give us one, just help us a little bit, because I can't see all of these ever getting solved. It seems like a waste to what could be some really cool stuff. So yeah, there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hopefully if you enjoyed the video today, if you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.